Namaste friends. Today's video is about one of the most significant and astrological events that one awaits in every 12 years. Yes, it is the event of the great benefic Jupiter moving from its sign of debilitation, which is Capricorn, to Aquarius. I say this is one of the most awaited events every 12 years with some reasonable evidence, especially in the socio-economic space. If you have watched my videos earlier, I always base it on evidences in history when similar events took place and had some kind of impact in our lives. In this video too, I present a snapshot of the historical timeline. We shall also discuss about the overall impact of Jupiter's visit this time around and how we should look to handle this transit. See you on the other side. Stay connected. Friends, I am Satish Menon, an astrologer, Vastu consultant, spiritual speaker and a life guide. Do take time to subscribe to my channel and support it by sharing this video with your near and dear ones. For personal consultations, you can reach me on my website asksatishlifeguide.com or mail me at satishlifeguide@gmail.com. So, today we are going to understand about Jupiter's movement from Capricorn to Aquarius. So, is it going to be a straightforward journey in Aquarius for Jupiter? No, not at all. There will be a lot of to and fro here. The dance of Jupiter, which we have to be careful of while taking decisions this particular year. See, Jupiter enters Aquarius on 6th April and continues to remain direct till 21st June. From 21st June onwards, it becomes retrograde. That is, it starts its reverse motion, which in reality is because of the concept of relative motion. Planets never orbit backwards. So this retrograde motion takes place and Jupiter re-enters Capricorn on September 15th. It stops its retrograde motion on 19th October 2021 and then it begins its direct journey again and re-enters Aquarius for a second time around in the year on 21st November, and then it continues to stay there till April 13th of 2022. So, simply put, Jupiter will be available in Aquarius starting from 6th of April 2021 till 13th April 2022, barring 2 months, the period from 15th September to 21st November approximately. As I said, this retrograde motion of Jupiter is something we must be careful of during this particular year. It is an important event. Jupiter is moving from Capricorn to Aquarius. Now, Capricorn or Makar is the sign where Jupiter becomes debilitated. It simply means it becomes weak here to give its natural results. So, naturally when Jupiter gets a chance to move out of Capricorn, it moves from a position of weakness to a position of strength. This means for a lot of us, things that were perhaps not moving so well last year or some areas of life that was quite challenging for this last year or so will tend to give positive results now. It could be relations, it could be finance, it could be career, it could also be health. And based on the positivity that the month of April onwards will generate, we may tend to take decisions and hope that there won't be any further roadblocks. Now friends, that's exactly what we must be warned of here. And that is to keep in mind that there will be a period of turbulence from June onwards when Jupiter starts to retrograde or starts its backward motion. It will revisit Capricorn again and till November it may trap you with the decisions and its consequences that you have taken. Keep in mind, therefore, that any major long-term decisions that you take, you must sustain and do not give it up. Do not, chuck it out or throw it during the time from June to November, just because there is some turbulence. Remember, this turbulence is temporary. It will last for a few months. Things will move positively from November onwards naturally. And if it is possible, then, my opinion, take very long-term decisions only, and after November only, once Jupiter has settled in its direct motion in Aquarius for sure. So it could be, for example, a change of job. You may immediately look out or find one very good job this April. And then when Jupiter retrogrades, you will start doubting your decision, whether it was a right decision to change a job. And then this is bound to happen because, as I said, it's a temporary phase. So stick to your plan. Once you have decided and spend time till November, you will find that things start falling in place automatically and the positive cycle starting again. In fact, many of you who have consulted me would remember that I have suggested that any major decisions which you have to take it as close to November 2021 onwards as much as possible. Friends, let's also take a look at the past, how Jupiter's movement in Aquarius has worked out. April 2009, Jupiter entered Aquarius and stayed there till April of 2010. So, during the years 2007 to 2008, Jupiter was in Capricorn, its debilitation sign. Now, most of you would remember that the recession of 2008 was very bad. Millions of people lost their life savings, their jobs, their homes. The markets tanked across the globe. Speaking of markets, here is a quick glimpse. I've used Nasdaq here, so we get a proper evidence of how Jupiter benefits and its benefic power. Here you can see that the markets had a very negative time, in the year of 2008. But as soon as 2009 started, it totally turned into a positive territory. Let's go back 12 years again in time. In Jan of 1998 to 99, Jupiter had entered Aquarius and stayed there for a year. The period just before 1997 was a year of the great Asian financial crisis. Again, markets are a good testimony of how the benefic Jupiter pulls the world out of trouble that it is in. In fact, in this case, the run-up lasted well into the year 2000, as you can note. Going back again in time, Jupiter had entered Aquarius and stayed there from Jan of 1986 till 1987. The years previous to that, when Jupiter was in Capricorn, were good for India. Former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had been assassinated, and it led to lot of complete chaos and unrest in the whole of the country due to communal violence. Another interesting thing that happens every time Jupiter has transited Aquarius is related to the nakshatras that are present in the Aquarius sign. Aquarius has 3 nakshatras overall. First is 2 charans of Dhanishta nakshatra, then 4 charans of Satabhishak, and again 3 charans of Purva Bhadrapada. Dhanishta belongs to Mars, Satabhishak to Rahu, and Purva Bhadrapada to Jupiter itself. So we can see a lot of events taking place related to these planets only. Here, Satabhishak especially belongs to Rahu, and Rahu is the Karaka, the significator of Maya. It is responsible for innovation and invention, especially related to space and space research. Likewise, Mars is responsible for defense systems and welfare. Jupiter is responsible for things like education. The sign Aquarius is a sign where Jupiter was present in the case of 2 very eminent scientists that we know, Albert Einstein and Sir Isaac Newton. This means when Jupiter enters Aquarius, it does bring about progress in the field of inventions. Not only that, people who are born with Jupiter in this sign also tend to go into research. 2009, when Jupiter was in Aquarius, the space lunar probe Chandrayaan-1 discovered large amount of water on the moon successfully. The same very year, India tested its nuclear missile. This is significant of Mars. Any guess what the name of the missile was? It was called as Dhanush. In fact, Jupiter owns the sign Sagittarius, which in Hindi is known as Dhanu Rashi. So, same way in 1998 too, India had carried out nuclear tests in Pokhran successfully when Jupiter was transiting the sign of scientific excellence and research. Again, one of the nakshatras, Purva Bhadrapad, belongs to Jupiter itself. And so many significant events like the right of children to free and compulsory education happened here when Jupiter was transiting the sign of Aquarius. Thus, Jupiter is the Karaka for education too. We can expect many such milestones to take place in the area of space, research, defense, education, etc. that will happen in this particular year, starting from April of 2020 till the next of 2021. So you see, friends, how Jupiter's transit into Capricorn has always created changes and challenges, in the socio-economic order, in the socio-economic landscape. And once Jupiter always moves into Aquarius, we will find that this landscape always begins to improve. Nothing different this time around too. Jupiter entered Capricorn last year in April of 2020. This was when the whole world was getting ready for a complete lockdown, a kind of which almost none of the living generations had ever experienced before. Life came to a total standstill. Of course, the influence of other planets are also there, like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. They also have their own rules. You can take a look at my videos, especially on Saturn's impact and Rahu's effect, largely that was present. And now, as Jupiter begins its direct motion towards Aquarius, there is a lot of positive anticipation in the air. Markets have jumped up in anticipation much before. And we hope that the benevolent Jupiter gets the world out of this tough time that it has been going through for a long time now. Hoping and wishing that this transit fulfills all our desires and we get back to the world as we knew. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like and share the video. Do put your comments and opinions below about this particular transit. Here's how you can reach me for a personal consultation. My website AskSatishLifeGuide.com or mail me directly at satishLifeGuide@gmail.com. Until we meet again, take care. Thank you for watching.